What's up, El Segundo? I'm Natasia Gascon, and I'm back at the El Segundo Museum of Art, where an annual tradition has returned after a long absence. Let's go see what's up. The Living Library is back in El Segundo. After the COVID-19 pandemic canceled this popular community event, local residents have returned to the El Segundo Museum of Art and the El Segundo Public Library to once again borrow living books. These books are individuals with unique and creative life experiences that they are eager to share with others. This year's library included artists, community members, filmmakers, musicians, nonprofit founders, and survivors. Participants reserved time slots with the living books, encouraged to connect with those they wouldn't interact with in their daily lives. The goal of the Living Library was to foster empathy, break down stereotypes, and spark creativity, both in individual people and the community at large. This year's event was a little different from previous versions, as Barbara Boehm of ESMOA explains.
This year the Living Library is called Mind the Gap. This year the Living Library is a little bit different than from the last 3 years we had it. Right now this event is maybe more the classical Living Library event because we have all the living books here. You can check them out for a 20-minute one-on-one conversation. However, there's also a catch today because we really made time at the end so people can mingle and mix and also the books can meet. And we also have some open tables, so we hope that spontaneous conversation will happen. So welcome to the Living Library.
These additional Living Library events allowed more people to experience the living books, expanding the reach of the program to other corners of the city.
And now I will introduce our guest speakers. Dr. Valerie Lanier. She was born in Baja, Hungary in 1929. And Dr. Valerie Lanier experienced growing up in a time the Nazis removed the Jewish people from their homes, sending them away on boxcar trains, either become slave labor on farms or into Auschwitz or Birkenau to never be seen again.
Just think about people in town in El Segundo being pulled out of their homes, marched to the train station, being put in boxcars, no water, no food, no nothing, no idea of where they're going, and then being taken to a death camp.
There, my mother headed into the train to go and get her mother. And one of the Germans looked at my mom and said, "Who's she to you?" And she said, "She's my daughter." And she said, "Then you belong with her." And we never saw my grandmother again.
So today I saw a new perspective from someone who actually survived the Holocaust. And I've seen a lot of perspectives from movies and stories and books, but this just shows how it's not really that far in the past. She's only like in her early 90s, and books, movies, these all show how like back and far in time it is, but it really isn't. They're just like, it really emphasizes that point.
Everything was stacked against her, and she still found a way to like come up clutch and just beat all odds. Like that's pretty crazy to me. It's just cool to hear, like, especially from her. She was like very like well thought out, and she knew what she was saying, and like it's just cool to hear stories like that because it empowers other people and sets like a good like baseline for people.
I like to say if that unaffordable apartment is a 10 on a 10 scale, and if the damp cardboard box on a rainy night, that's a 0. Okay, so the EDAR is a 5. So our goal is to get all of these people off the street and into apartments, or at least into dormitories, to which the answer is, God bless.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. What he's accomplished as a single person with ideas and making the most of his contacts and using his own funds and his ingenuity and his generosity of spirit. I think it's wonderful. And I hope to contact him. I hope that I can help in my way, because, small though it is, because it has sort of gnawed at me that I've come so far from being homeless in London to owning my own home free and clear in Manhattan Beach and the South Bay. It can be done.
and let's get some old ladies off the concrete. Thank you.
I am a very old book, but we like to be read too, so that's good. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to find out about another human being, and I think it's great that they created this space for people to come in and just have conversation, dialogue with each other, either about their craft or about their life. There's so many things, and so I think it's a wonderful thing. So today what we did was we did something called an ekphrasis, and what that is you are creating a piece based on a piece of art, a sculpture, or a photograph. And you are looking at that piece in whatever way you want, or in every way that you want, and you are sharing what it might be like to be a part of that piece, what you think the author was saying, or you pick something in the piece and decide to write about that element of it, and you take that and you put it into a poem. So that's what everyone here created today. I love, love, love art, and so to be able to tie poetry and art together, bringing two types of art into the same room, I think is wonderful. And so we'll have lots of opportunities to do that, along with whatever other things we come up with along the way.
After being away from each other for so long, many participants felt relieved to be back in in-person events, sharing their stories and meeting new people, bringing back a sense of normalcy to everyone's lives.
We need community. There's just, when I turn on the news every day, it's just a lot of anxiety, and I think it's important for us to remember humanity. We are all people that are here together on this planet. I mean, personally, I think we all have stories to tell, and we're all, as human beings, we're all so different, and we all have our own experiences, and all of those experiences are really important, really impactful for each person, and I think it's important to listen to our community and find out what are they going through, or what are some of the bright moments, what are some of the sad moments, what are some of the just moments in life that push us forward. And I think it's important to hear from anyone around us.
It feels great to be a little bit out of that fear zone. It feels great to see people's faces again. It feels great to have that connection. And when we were dealing with COVID, we were isolated and we were doing Zoom. And even though Zoom is a great technology and I'm so happy it's around, I don't ever want to do it again. It's very important that we are connected, because like I said, being alone it's easy to feel that, especially if you're removed from the world. So them doing this right now on the brink of us opening up is so amazing. And people are ready, people want to mingle, people want to learn. They want to learn about other people.
I think it's so awesome just to hear about other lives outside of mine, because truly you only know your existence you only know you exist within yourself. So hearing about other people's existence makes life feel more real.
The Living Library brings people to our community, to the museum, to the local Los Angeles community, and you can have conversations with people that you would never meet and be able to have a conversation. And so it brings to you a different perspective of life. And I think that I appreciate what ESMOA does. I appreciate the experiences and their thought in developing the experiences, and how it actually opens your mind to a different perspective on art, on a topic, and they really deeply explore it. And the Living Library, it supports sometimes these experiences, but I think that allowing people to speak to community members or people outside of our community and get that perspective is a very important part of who we're becoming, or who I hope we're becoming as a city.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Living Library has once again shown us that despite everything we've been through, nothing can compare to the connections we create with strangers, friends, and our community. For El Segundo Media, I'm Natasha Gascon.